to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back, no turning back. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, there we go, there we go. Well, good morning, guys. How are you doing today? Can you tell me how long the typical work day is? When people go to work, how long are they at work?
7, 8 hours?
7, 8 hours? Sound about right? That's kind of, we all know that's not necessarily what happens, but that's what people talk about as a typical shift, an 8-hour shift. So in Jesus' time, a work day was about 12 hours long. That's a pretty long day. And it was labor. It was all physical work. So you would start at 6 in the morning and you would work until 6 at night. And then after that, you would do the stuff you had to do at home. Long work day, right? And if you were a laborer, a day laborer, you just hoped you had work every day. And it all depended on whether people came and got you and said, hey, come and work for me today. Because you didn't necessarily have a regular job. You went somewhere and you waited for people to come. Robin said when she was in South Africa in Lesotho, she saw this happen. Guys would gather every morning, early in the morning, in the town square, and folks who needed workers would show up in trucks and would pick up a bunch of people, say, you 15 people, you're with me, and they would truck them out to the vineyards to work. Which is exactly what one of Jesus' stories was about. A guy owns a vineyard, which is where you grow grapes. You like grapes? Yeah, they're pretty good to eat, aren't they? So he owns a vineyard, he's growing grapes, and he needs some workers to come in and work in his vineyard. We don't know what the job was, if it was picking grapes or if it was eating grapes. No, that wouldn't be the job. Or it was doing any of the work in the vineyard that he needed. And so he went into the square of town and he found some people who were there at the beginning of the workday, which is about 6 in the morning. And he says, hey, I want you guys to come and work for me. Well, that's great. They go and they work and they make an agreement. They're going to get paid the standard wage for a day's work, a denarius. Well, about halfway through the morning, the owner's thinking, boy, I could really use some more workers. So he goes back into the square and he gets some more people and he says, hey, you folks, I need you to work for me today too. And he brings them out. And then at the middle of the day, which would be noon, he says, I could use some more folks. And so he goes again and he gets a few more people and brings them in. And then halfway through the afternoon, he's saying, boy, we still need some more people working here. And so he goes again to the square and he gets some more folks. And then at the 11th hour, with only 1 hour left of work before it gets too dark, he goes back into town and he gets a few more folks to work for him. The day's over and he tells his manager, I want you to bring everybody in to pay him at the end of the day, and the ones who were hired last, pay them first. And the folks who were hired last, they were hired at the 11th hour. How long did they work? 1 hour. That's it. When they came forward and got paid, they got paid a denarius. They got paid a whole day's pay. Woo! And the folks who were hired first, they're thinking, all right, man, what are we going to get paid? But you know what? When they came up to get paid, they got paid a denarius. The same as the folks who worked only 1 hour. We worked 12 hours, they worked 1 hour, and you made us equal. That is not, what's the word? Fair. Absolutely. The owner says, isn't that what we agreed on, though? Yes. But they were last, and they are equal as me. That doesn't seem right. And Jesus says, you know, there are times when the last are going to be first, and the first are going to be last. I think one of the reasons Jesus told the story was that sometimes we think we should get special treatment for whatever reason, because we were first, or because we worked longer, or we worked harder. You know, our little brother, he didn't work hard enough. I should get the extra. Whatever it is. And sometimes we're right. And sometimes that's the way the world works. But when it comes to God's kingdom, it doesn't seem to be the way God's kingdom works. In God's kingdom, we're all equal. No matter how we come in or when we get in, we're all equal. And sometimes it doesn't feel fair. But that's God's way. Make us equal. Will you guys pray with me? Okay. Dear God, thank you for your love for us. Thank you for inviting us into your kingdom. Amen. Amen. We have some worksheets for you, and I know some of you guys will be going back to your class.